we'd add another 74.
What do you mean by a third leg? Like this one over here?
Yeah, those little tiny lines.
Oh, okay, these little tiny lines. Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, those little tiny lines indicate that this side of the triangle and this side of the triangle are congruent or the same. They're just simply little red lines. They're supposed to be red. I'll mark mine yellow. They're not actually part of the triangle. It's just information it's giving you to tell you it's an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle means two of the three are the same or congruent, okay? If you had a little hashtag on the bottom, that would mean that, and it's not hashtag, I hate to say that because now it's the pound sign's a hashtag. If you had a little dash on the bottom, okay, that would mean it's an equilateral triangle, which also means it's equal angular. So meaning all sides are the same and all angles are the same, okay? Okay, why did we set it up x plus 74? Okay, you don't have to set it up as an equation, but I'm trying to show you algebraically. You could simply say, well, I know that this whole line is 180, and I know this degree is 74, and in order to find out the other one, I just do the math. Okay, you don't have to set it up as an equation. That's really good, and so you know it's 106. You don't have to set it up an equation. I'm just trying to get you guys in the habit of that, because as we do more, you're going to need to do it what we say algebraically. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, let me try one. Mr. Rivas, you okay with them doing two on their own, or do you think we should show them how to do that? Because the rest get into what we were doing yesterday.
I think number two, let them try by themselves.
Okay.
So from 3 on, they can ask, and all you do is set up the problem, and they should try to solve the equation by themselves.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's try 3, because we've been doing these type for a while. This one's a little unique because it's got information on the outside of the triangle. So I'm going to draw this one and show you how to set it up. Oops, there's no angle arrow there. Don't be making fun of my drawing. I know it's not perfect. Okay, again, let me do these in blue. These are not part of the triangle. These are just informational, okay? Angle 2 is here, and they're saying that this outside angle is 105, okay? So how would I figure out, first of all, this is an isosceles triangle. That means these two sides are the same, and these two angles are also equal, okay? Normally, we're given this angle, and then we have to find angle 2, okay? And remember, this one has that equation, the measure of angle 2 equals 7x plus 5. And again, it's asking for x, not what the angle is, which would be so much easier, but then we wouldn't learn our math. Based on 1, we have a line. And as you told me before, the line equals 180, right? Now, I'm going to show you not algebraically, because this isn't the main problem. I need to know what that angle is. So I need to take 180 minus 105 and do the math. Can't take 5 away from nothing, so I change that to 7 and borrow 10. Okay, 7 minus 0 is 75. Now I know that this angle here is 75 degrees, which means what is angle 2? Somebody tell me, what is angle 2? If I know that this one's 75 degrees, and yes, Yasnia, good job. This one, very good. Both of you, good job, you guys. Angle 2 is 75 degrees. So here's my equation. It says the measure of angle 2. Well, I know that that's 75 degrees. So I'm going to put that here. And then I'm going to say equals 7x plus 5. Boom. I just set up my equation. Now all I have to do is solve for x. Okay, I'm not going to do it. You guys are going to do it. Tell me what I would do next. How would I solve for x in this equation? What do I do? Remember, I got to get x by itself and any add-ons away from it.
Subtract 5 for both sides.
Very good. Subtract 5 from both sides. Because whatever I do to one side, I got to do the other. Remember, the whole example. If I give Mr. Rivas a cookie, I better be giving y'all a cookie. All right, 75 minus 5 is 70. Oh, my brain is really backwards today. All right, now, still don't have x by itself, so what do?
You divide x to both sides. I
I
mean,
divide
seven.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
Sorry.
I know you're good. I know, it's one of those days. So I divide both sides by 7 because I want to get rid of this, the multiplier 7. X comes down by itself, and 7 goes into 7 once. 7 goes into 0, nothing, so it's 10. And yes, I have answered the question. X equals 10. Good job, you guys. Now, like I said, your biggest challenge right now is setting up the problem. So that's what I'm going to help you with today. I'm not going to solve it. I think you guys know how to do that. Okay? Why didn't you have to divide 75 by 2 this time? Oh, because, okay, that's a good question that was asked. Somebody asked, Yasmin did, why didn't I divide 75 by 2? Okay, Yasnia, when we know the angle up here and we don't know these bottom two, that's when I have to divide it by 2 and split it evenly in half. But because I already know that this is 75 and this is going to be the same, I don't divide it by 2. I'm not cutting it in half. That only happens when it gives you the angle up here and you have to decide, you find out that these two, what they equal. Say, for example, this is 80 degrees up here, okay? You don't have to write this, but I'm giving you an example. Say this is 80 degrees. You would then take 180 minus 80, which gives you 100. Both these angles together equal 100. That's why you have to divide it by 2, because you have to cut them in half and distribute them. Does that kind of make sense? Let me see if I can find another one, and let me look at our worksheet and see if I can find one that has that example. Not 4. I don't know if we have one that has an example like that. Oh, well, sort of. Okay, we don't have an example of that today. So, well, actually we do. Number 2 is like that. But again, number 2, okay, let's talk about number 2. I'm not going to solve it, but I'm going to talk about it, okay? Number 2 is set up like this. We still have an isosceles triangle because it has these two symbols. I don't have a red pen on me right now, guys, so sorry. This is 88 degrees. And X is over in the corner, and there is a little extension out here, sorry. Okay. We need to find X. We know that all angles in a triangle total 180, okay? I know that this top one, okay, let me zoom in here, is 88. And these two base ones are the rest of 180. Split in half. So if I take 180 minus 88, okay, borrow from 8, 10 minus 8 is 2, can't take 8 from 7, but I can take it from 17, 92. Now here's the problem, okay? 92 is what these two angles equal together. Okay, I need to know just one side. So that's why I have to cut it in half. Does that kind of help explain? Because I know yesterday we had some we had to cut it in half. Hopefully that works for everybody. So I'm not done with this one. You got to finish it. I'm not going to do the whole thing. All right, let me see. Let's see. Let's do number...
So it's 46,
the
angle.
Well, let's see. You got 92 divided by 2. That would sound right. Good job. And if y'all were paying attention, number 2 is just answered for you, but you still have to show the work. Remember to show the work. Okay, looking at the worksheet, let's see. I want to try and stick with odds. So, all right, you know what? No, I'm going to do this. Tell me which one you would like me to show you, because these are all similar to what we talked about yesterday. So tell me what you would like me to show you. Look at all the ones on the worksheet and type in the chat or unmute yourself. Ooh, I heard a bing. Somebody came in. Okay, thank you. 4, perfect. Okay, so yeah, 4 is kind of an interesting one. So let's look at 4. Again, I'm not going to solve it for you. I'm just going to set it up for you. Okay, you have the measure of angle 2 again. So don't get confused. We're solving for x. Is x plus 72. That's the measure of angle 2. We have this triangle. Again, don't be making fun of my drawing. And this one extends this way. And this one extends this way. 2 and 120 degrees. And this case, we have a dash, and a dash, telling us some information. What this means is that not only is this side the same as this side, but it's also the same as this side. This is what we call an equilateral triangle. Oh gosh, my triangle is pathetic. Okay, what that also means is it's an equiangular triangle, which means all the angles are the same. Okay, now, one of two things can happen on this. One, you remember that all equiangular triangles, every angle is the same, always. I don't care how big or how small the triangle is, if it's equiangular, every angle is exactly the same and it's always the same degree. Anybody remember what degree each angle is on an equiangular triangle? Anybody? Oh, I don't have the chat up.
Danielle and Bonnie say 60.
Yes, very good. Okay, good job, you guys. 60 degrees. Like I said, I don't care how big or how small the triangle is, equiangular, it always equals 60-degree angles, okay? All 3 of them are 60-degree angles. The total times 3 being 180, okay? The total being 180.
Another way to think about it is if 180 is cut into 3 equal pieces, you're gonna end up with 60, 60, 60. Yeah.
Right. And also look at this one. This is on a line. This is 120 and lines equal 180. In order to get up to 180, you'd have to add 60. So this would be 60. And then you automatically know that that's 60, this is 60. And guess what? This one's 60 as well. So what that means is, how do we set up the problem? We know, take our equation, measure of angle 2 is 60, and it equals x plus 72, and then you just solve for x. Okay?
So, Miss,
Yes.
so when they're all equiangular, like they
Very
all
good.
equal 60,
Yes.
it equals the thing up here, like for example, the x equals 70, x plus 72.
Okay, yes. So that angle 2, okay, is going to equal 60. So like I said, if it had said, what is angle 2 value? That'd be easy. We could say 60 degrees, no math done, you know. But because it's asking what is x, we have to take and replace the measure of angle 2, which we know is 60 over here. So I can rewrite it. Measure of angle 2, this is what they gave us, is x plus 72. We replace the measure of angle 2 with 60 so that then we can do the math.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, next, again, I'm not solving these because I think you guys know how to do the math just great. Where you get in trouble is setting it up. And yes, Adriana, that is correct. What you just texted me is correct. On question 2, divide by 2. Okay, let me look at question 5. Let's look at it. Okay, I'm going to replace this. Oh, Mr. Rivas, I forgot to mention, are you recording?
Yes.
Oh, good. Good job. We always forget. Okay, so number 5. Good question. Let me draw it out first. Oh boy. You guys like watching me draw. I think you like to torture me. It's all good. Okay. And I have, okay, lots of extensions on this one. Can't make it simple. Mr. Rivas is challenging me. Okay, remember we have these 2 little dash marks, which means it is an isosceles. In this case, only 2 sides are the same, which means their base opposite. See, if you look at the opposite angle, this is the same as this opposite angle is the same, okay? So if you turn it, and now it's on its base, and I know it doesn't look isosceles, but these base angles are the same. So what they're asking is, this is number 2. And they told us that this is 105. No, you will not have to divide by 2 in this case because we're finding out, okay? You can do this one of 2 ways. First of all, we have to find out what is this angle, okay? In order to do that, we know this is on a line, okay? So we take 180, we subtract 105 to find out that angle. I can't take 5 from nothing, so I have to borrow. 10 minus 5 is 5, bring down the 7. Okay, so each of these is 75. Does that make sense? Okay, they're asking us the measure of angle 2 is equal to x plus 36. Okay, we don't know what angle 2 is, but we know that these 2 are 75. What you can do is take 180 minus 75 minus 75, because you're taking this one away and this one away to get angle 2. And when it comes to that, don't hurt your brain. Just bring up a calculator and go 180 minus 75 minus 75 is 30. Okay? Now we know this is 75 degrees. This is 75 degrees, and angle 2 equals 30 degrees. Okay? We don't have to divide by 2, Yasnia, because we're finding this one. If we knew this angle and didn't know these 2, that's when we'd have to divide by 2. So now we simply say, okay, the measure of angle 2, we know that it's 30 degrees and x plus 36, and we just solve for x. Oops, sorry. I realized I was cutting it off. So that's the setup for that one. Is that starting to make sense a little bit? I know this is, trust me guys, this is one of the tougher concepts because it involves not just geometry because of the angles and the triangles, but algebra. I think you guys have the algebra down. It's just how to set it up. Any other questions? You can put them in the chat. Oh, you know what? Put them, if you're chatting me privately on the one screen I'm sharing, I won't see those. I should probably check that real quick. Let's see if I can see that somehow. No, because it shrinks it down. I don't know which Amy phrase to tell you to text. You'll have to text the Tigger one, but it doesn't show you that in the chat, does it? Yeah. Just text it to everyone. It's okay. Don't be shy. Any others I can set up for you guys? Birds are starting to finally.
What I suggest is they work on the other problems. If they have a question like do you divide by 2, it's a 180. They can ask it out loud or put it in the chat.
Perfect. That would be great, you guys. Oh. Okay, advantages of working at home, you get wildlife you'd never have in the classroom, like the roadrunner that comes around our house. Scares me.
Somebody said number 10.
Yes.
You said it up.
Okay, so number 10. This is a good one. Okay. So again, I'm just setting it up. I'm not doing the whole problem. Okay, let's see if I can draw this without. Oh, no, the arrow goes here, not here. Okay, and then the arrow goes here and here. Okay, I know it doesn't look exactly like it, but cut me some slack. Okay, it's telling me I have 3 dashes, which means it's equal angular. But angle 2 is not on the inside, it's on the outside. Like, really? Come on. That's okay. We know how to deal with that. So we know that the measure of angle 2 equals 18x minus 6. All right. All you have to worry about right now is this. It's on a line, okay? A line equals 180. We know that if this is 60 degrees, and it's an equilateral triangle, that means it's an equal angular, so that means all of these are 60 degrees, okay? There's half your battle right there, okay? Why my autofocus is not working, I don't know. Okay, so we simply need to take 180 minus this 60, which gives us 120. That's the measure of angle 2. This right here is 120 degrees. Well, if the measure of angle 2 is 120, all I have to do is replace it. And now I have my equation to solve the problem. Okay?
Hey, Face, can you add the problem number next to it?
Oh, sorry. Yes, that was number 10, right? Thank you. My bad. I get all excited about showing you guys, and then I forget. I'm telling you, that Roadrunner messed me up.
Some of you are doing the problem, and you're texting me like Mr. Rivas is the answer for number 5, so and so. You can ask me, and I can verify it. Okay. So if you want to check if you're right or wrong, let me know, and I'll tell you the correct answer.
Yeah, and again, don't be afraid to ask me to at least set up ones that you need.
Go ahead.
All right, so number 11 says that the measure of angle 2, it is equal to 8x minus 2, okay? And we have this triangle, there's this. Don't be making fun of my drawing. I know some of you are all laughing. It's all good. I'm laughing. Okay. We have these 2 dash marks, which means, oh gosh, I'm not sure if I'm spelling this. Isosceles triangle. I think I spelled that right. Okay. That's an isosceles triangle. We're dealing with angle 2, and this angle here is 137 degrees. All right. Here's where we got to do some math. We have to find out what this angle is, so we can figure out what this angle is, because they're the same, to then figure out this one. So we're going to take 180 minus 137, okay, because this is a line. Remember, this is a line, And we know lines equal 180. So the other side of this line is what we're missing. You can't take 7 from nothing, so I borrow. 10 minus 7 is 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. And 1 minus 1 is nothing. So we know that this missing angle here is 43 degrees. Well, if this one's 43 degrees, because it's an isosceles triangle, this one is 43 degrees. Now, Yasnia, interesting question you asked me about dividing by 2. In this case, I could multiply by 2 because I have to figure out how much both of these are minus 180. Or, so I don't hurt my brain, I could just say, I know the whole triangle equals 180. I need to subtract 43 twice to get my angle 2. So again, I don't hurt my brain. I just simply bring up my handy dandy calculator and I say 180 minus 43 minus 43 is 94. Now, that tells me that this angle here is 94 degrees. I'll put 94 here too. Okay, now I have my answer as to what is the measure of angle 2. So if the problem is written like this, I can replace the measure of angle 2 with 94 degrees. And the degrees you don't necessarily have to have because you're solving for the value of x, not a degree. But then there's your equation, and all you're doing is solving for x. Okay? And if I'm being too confusing and you want Mr. Rivas to explain one, ooh, I didn't realize it's being cut off. That's okay. I don't get offended. Or if you guys have a better way of explaining it, share. Yes.
How do you know when to subtract it twice? Like when there's a number outside the triangle, I know to subtract it by 180. But if there's two little line thingies, we subtract it twice from 180 or?
That's a great question. Okay, first of all, I subtracted 137 from 180 once just to get this side. Okay? Now, because it has these two hash marks and tells me it's an isosceles triangle, I know that these opposite angles are the same. So because I know all three equal 180, I have to take these two away, meaning twice, to get the value of this one, to get the value of 2. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
I know, it's hard to concept. So you got 43 and 43.
Tracy,
Yes.
can we go back to number 10?
Yes.
Because the answer should be 7.
The answer should be 7.
Yeah, X should be 7.
All right. Well, let's check it.
And some kids are getting 6. So let's go do it other way. See how we get the answer.
Okay. Do you want me to solve it or check if 7 works?
Solve it.
Okay. So somebody tell me the first thing I'm going to do. I'm not doing all the work.
Subtract 6, both sides.
Yep. Well, it's already negative. So yes, I got to move 6, but how do I do it?
Add 6.
There you go. You want to do the opposite because I got to zero it out. So I have to do the opposite. But you are on the right track, sir. Okay, this comes down. This goes away. So we have 18x, negative 6 plus positive 6. We know zero's out, so that's done. We brought 6 over, and we have 120 plus 6, which is 126. X is still not by itself. What do I have to do?
Divide 18 to both sides.
Very good. I got to divide 18 by both sides. And I don't know about you, but the way my brain's been working today, again, I bring up my handy dandy calculator and I say 126 divided by 18 is 7. So whoever came up, and this blurry, I'm sorry. Whoever came up with 7, let me try and autofocus. There we go. Is correct. 7 is the answer. Good job. I missed cancel out. Sorry. Okay, so for problem 9, all you have to do is subtract 120 from 180. Get the
I
major
have a
of 2.
question.
Yes.
For number 11, I got a decimal. So what do you
Uh-oh.
do? I got
You
11
should.
point. So do you round it up to 12 or?
I have a feeling you might have done something wrong. Did you add 2 or did you subtract 2?
I subtracted.
Okay, so remember, if it's negative, you have to do the opposite, which is add.
All right.
So try that and see if it gets a better answer. I know, I do that all the time. Okay, number 9. Okay, Yasnia, number 9 is an equilateral triangle, which means it's equal angular. Yes, you can take and subtract 180 minus 120 to get the measure of angle 2, but you also can know that all equal angular triangles, each angle is 60 degrees. So you don't have to do any math if you don't want to. All you have to do is take and say, oh, this is 60, this one's 60, and this one's 60. So replace M measure of angle 2 with 60 and make it equal to 4x plus 16. If that makes sense. Just remember to use those symbols that they give you. Those, if they're giving you 2 hashes, it's isosceles. If they're giving you 3, okay, like in 10, okay, that means it's equal angular and equilateral. And remember, all equilateral triangles are equal angular, and they have to be 60 degrees because there's no way to divide 180 equally 3 times without it being 60. But good questions. This is what we want.
So, Miss,
Mm-hmm.
on number 3, like
Yes.
we subtract 105 from 180.
Let's see. Hold on. Number 3. Yes.
And then with that answer, we subtract that twice from 180.
Nope. You don't have to do that. Watch. Let me show you.
Why?
Here's why. I'm going to show you right now. So remember, okay, this is number 3. Oop. I have a hold. Okay. We have the measure of angle 2 is 7x plus 5. This triangle is an isosceles triangle. I know that because it has 2 little red hash marks here. Okay? That means that angle 2 is going to be the same or congruent to this angle over here. So when you solve for this angle right here, this one, that's going to be the same as angle 2. So you don't have to do any more math except insert it here and solve the equation. So when you take 180 minus 105 and get 75, that means this one's 75 degrees. Guess what angle 2 is? Anybody? What's angle 2 on this problem? If this angle is 75, what is this one? Oh, come on, you guys, you know this.
Yeah, the angles are congruent. So if one is 75, what is the other one?
75.
Yes,
The same.
very good. So angle 2, the measure of angle 2, you would substitute and say, oh, it's 75 degrees. So now I just have to solve for x. Because this is the same, 75 degrees.
Well, private message because we don't get to see it.
They forget.
Whatever mess you do, make it for the whole class so we can see that. Okay.
All right, number 8, we have this triangle. Okay, and it tells me that this side and this side are the same. Okay, which means this angle and this angle are the same. This is angle 2, and this angle is 65. So if this one's 65, what is angle 2 equal? Anybody?
65.
Right. So now I'm going to take that information and replace angle 2 with 65 and set up my equation and do my math to solve for x. Now, let me verify something. Whoops, closed the wrong thing. When you say you were lost, were you lost on how to find the angle for measure 2 or on how to do the math after you found the measure of angle 2? I'm asking Adriana. I didn't want to, because you said 65 is the angle. Do you know what to do from there? And that goes to everybody. Do you guys understand? Once you find measure of angle 2 and substitute it, do you know how to do the math from there? Because if you don't, be honest. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Setup is usually, once you get setup done, it's all downhill from there. It's easy.
Yeah, the setup is the hard work. If you can do that, you probably can finish the whole problem.
And again, don't get frustrated with yourselves. Remember, I failed geometry the first time. It was not my subject, but I didn't have as good a teachers as you guys have. Not that I'm bragging about me, but Mr. Rivas is amazing. And those of you that had Ms. Perez or Ms. Sotelo last year, Ms. Gunther, you guys have, the curriculum is so much better. They didn't explain stuff to us.
Leonardo is asking if we can set up number 6.
Number 6 and number 4. Okay, yes, I will do that. Okay, so number 6. Let me do number 6 first, Noemi, and then I'll do number 4. I think it was Noemi who asked me that. Okay. Okay, so number 6 says measure of angle 2 equals x plus 131. And we have a funny looking triangle. And
Can you move the paper up a little bit?
oh, thank you. I'm so worried about drawing the triangle, I forgot to move the paper up. Okay, and then okay, again, don't be making fun of my triangles. All right, this side and this side are the same, which even though I didn't draw it to look like it, they are. That means this angle and this angle are the same. Well, this angle supposedly, this one right here is 30 degrees, which means this one's 30 degrees. But I need to know this one, angle 2. So how do I find that? I take 180 minus 30 once, and I gotta account for the other 30 because all I need is this one. So I'm taking out what I don't need to get what I need. 0 minus 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 3 is 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. And 120. So now I know the measure of angle 2. This one is 120 degrees. Now I can set up my problem. The measure of angle 2 equals x plus 131. I know the measure of angle 2 is 120. And I rewrite x plus 131, and then I do the math.
What was the other one for?
Yeah, I'll do that in just a second so they can copy this one down. And even if you've done this one, don't hesitate to come back real quick, look at it and go, did I set it up right? Okay, good. Because I know some of you, you're like, I got this down, no problem. And you're motoring through it. And that's great. I'm happy it's working for you. The rest of you, unfortunately, you probably have a brain like mine, which is like, huh? And it took you several times. And that's okay. One of the reasons I love teaching math now, because I relate. Okay, that was number 6. That will be on the video. So if you are like, wait, I didn't see it, you can go back to the video when you post it. Okay, number 4, we have the measure of angle 2 equals x plus 72. And we have our triangle with no extension and our triangle with extension, or I should say side, and our side with an extension. And then they are telling me that this side is the same as this side is the same as this side, which means angle 2, even though they tell me this is 120 degrees, I know because it's equilateral, meaning all sides are the same, that means it's equal angular too. And I know the equal angular triangles, all the angles equal. Somebody tell me, what are they equal?
60.
Yes, and good job, those of you that wrote it in the chat too. 60. So I can look at this and go, I don't have to worry about the 120. I know it's 60. So I write my problem and I say, measure of angle 2, that's 60 degrees. Boom, I'm done. Now, say you forget. You know, okay, this is a fallback. This is a line. And all lines equal 180. So all you would have to do, this is only if you forget, is take 180 minus 120, and you go, oh yeah, 60. Duh, I knew that. But that's okay. I can't tell you how many duh moments I had over the years.
Basically, move the paper a little bit to the left and up.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go.
Okay. Number 7, we have the measure of angle 2 is x plus 71. And again, now I can't say it, Yasmin, without laughing. Don't be making fun of my drawings. Oh gosh, now it's really gonna be bad because I'm laughing. Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, that's close. All right, we have these little hash marks here. One here, and one here, which means, yay, this is an equilateral triangle, which also means it's an equal angular triangle. So that means this is the same angle as this, So if this one's 60 degrees, that means this one's 60, which means angle 2 is 60. Yay, we like that. So then we say the measure of angle 2 equals x plus 71. Measure of angle 2, oh, that's 60 degrees. So x plus 71. And then I just do the math. Good question. Oh, I really do miss seeing you guys.
A good question.
Yes. So we just put 60 for all angles. If, Okay, good question, Noemi. If you have 3 little dashes to indicate that it's an equilateral triangle. If you only have 2 dashes, it's isosceles, okay? So because it's equilateral, it means it's equal angular. And it tells us, even though without telling us it's 60, we know it's 60 because we could remember that you would take 180 and you would divide it by 3 because they're all equal. And you would get 3 into 18 is 6. And 3 goes into nothing, nothing, so you get 60, okay? But if you can remember that all equilateral triangles are equiangular, and each angle of an equilateral triangle equals 60 degrees, you're golden, okay? That saves you a lot of time. But if you don't remember, just know that they all have to be even, so you got to divide 180 up evenly 3 times. Okay.
There you go.
8 says the measure of angle 2 is equal to 6x plus 5, okay? And we have this triangle. And again, don't make fun of my drawing. Okay, and it tells me that this is 65 degrees and that this is an isosceles triangle, which remember, the angles that the hash looks at, okay, these 2 angles are congruent or equal. That's what congruent means. The congruent sign looks like this. It's a equal sign with a little squiggly, but that equal sign indicates they're equal, okay? So that means that measure of angle 2 is congruent to 65 degrees or equal. So knowing that, you set it up, measure of angle 2 equals 6x plus 5. You replace this with 65. And then you get 6x plus 5 on the other side. Now, Devin, that was a great question. Are you stuck on setting it up or on how to solve it once you set it up? Perfect. Okay. And that's what I figured. Most of you know how to do the math once you get this part. But again, this is the hard part. Once I show you, go, oh, that makes sense. But once you have to do it by yourself, all of a sudden your brain goes, huh? I know that feeling. It's okay.
Yeah, setting up the equation, that's a math 2 part of the problem.
Yeah.
Solving the equation is a math 1. That's what it is.
So if you can just remember that an isosceles triangle, the 2 dashes, the angles opposite the dashes are equal to each other, then you have lots of information.
On number 12, Leonardo is getting the wrong answer.
Number 12, they're getting the wrong answer.
Yes.
All right, well, let's set that up and talk about it. Let me turn this over. Okay, so we have number 12. The measure of angle 2 equals x plus 68. And we have this line, oh boy. This line and this line. Okay, I know that's not like pretty, but don't be making fun of my lines. All right, so we have a dash here, and a dash here. That means it's equilateral and equiangular, but they're nice enough to tell us that this is 60 degrees. So what is angle 2? Can somebody tell me what is the value of angle 2? I know we said it's x plus 68. 60, good job. Okay, so I would write the measure of angle 2 equals x plus 68. I replace this with 60 because I know that's what it is. And then what do I do next to solve it?
Subtract 68 to both sides.
Very good. Way to help your fellow students. Subtract 68 from both sides. This zeroes out. X comes down. Okay, and then we subtract 60 minus 68. Well, 68 is bigger than 60, and it's a negative. So I know it's going to be negative, and I know it's 8 more than 60. Oh, look, I'm done. I solved the problem. Now, some of you might be going, well, wait a minute, Miss Frazee, you can't have a negative angle. Aha. Remember, we're not solving for the angle. We're solving for the value of x. And if you get mixed up and go, I'm not sure I did that right, just plug it back in and check. You know that angle 2 is 60 degrees, and you know that x is -8. If you add that to 68, basically taking 8 from 68, guess what you're going to get? 60 degrees. And oh, it checks. So even though x is negative, that doesn't mean you're getting a negative angle. You're still getting a positive angle. I know that used to mess me up too. What? I can't get a negative? Triangles don't have negative angles. You're not solving for the angle. You're solving for x.
And Leonardo, I'm sorry, you're right. The answer is -8. Okay, the
Oh,
one
good.
mistake.
Yay.
It's him who's right. I made a mistake.
Mr. Rivas is my double check. Because with my dyslexia, sometimes I write things backwards. And then we're in trouble. Any other questions, you guys? Because it is officially 12:45, which means it's lunch.
Give me about 10 minutes and then in about 10 minutes, I upload the video to Google Classroom, okay?
Perfect.